Hello, good morning and welcome to the Roundtable on OGTV. The Roundtable is a platform where we examine issues shaping our society and of course engaging those driving change. And of course today we'll be focusing on a very critical topic. But before I do that, I'll let the cat out of the bag on what we'll be looking at today. My name is Moreni Keji Shobaleju, and I am not alone on the program today. As you all know, I have my co-presenter in the building. Am I right to call her delectable doing Solami Ogunbadewa? Oh yes, like she used to say, Oluwa doing Solami Ogunbadewa is also in the studio. Together we'll be running the show for another 1 hour today. Join me as I welcome doing Sola to the studio today.
Calling me Oluwa doing Solami on here. Do you think admin would not query me?
No, your name.
Don't let them say that. Okay, that's not what is in the file. Okay, well, I accept it. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. It's another episode of Roundtable, and as you know that topics that are germane to the society, that is what we do on this platform. So just relax and make sure you call in to also comment, to make suggestions, and also ask questions today, because what we are discussing has to do with the future of tomorrow. Like they used to say, that the youth of today are leaders of tomorrow. But I disagree a bit, because the youth are now leading. So they are not waiting for tomorrow again. It is their time. Welcome to the show. I hand over to Moreni.
Thank you, Isola. Of course, you're very correct. And the youth are the partners in today's development, not the leaders of tomorrow any longer. That has changed for a very long time. And today, like I said earlier, we're focusing on a very critical subject matter, that is youth empowerment in Ogun State and its impact on the society. Yes, I said it earlier that youth are not just the leaders of tomorrow. Today, now, they are partners in today's development. So why do you think this topic matters? Ogun State has a large youth population, you all agree with me. And of course, the empowerment is directly affecting employment, is affecting economic growth, crime reduction and social stability, innovation, leadership and governance. These are things the empowerment of youth does to the society. And you know what we do on the Roundtable? We don't just coin a topic and discuss it all by ourselves. We look for resource persons, a kind of a round peg in a round hole, who would be in the right position to talk about the subject matter. That's why I'm welcoming in the studio today. We have a prominent personality, a youth advocate, and of course a youth leader in Ogun State. Also,
in the cabinet.
He's a prominent individual, and he's also in the cabinet of the Ogun State Governor, Prince Dapo Abiodun. Join me as I welcome into the studio, Comrade Olamide Lawal, the essay on youth development to the Ogun State Governor. Good morning, Mr. Olamide.
Good morning.
You are prominent.
Nice having you. Yes, when I said a prominent individual, I was busy laughing. Yes, you are representing a youth constituency. Yes. Definitely, you are playing a pivotal role.
The IP was something that
she was just introducing.
Well, you have to be mindful of the street words from broadcast.
So your head won't swell, right?
Yeah, because I know what my pocket is, so I don't want my head to swell.
Oh my God.
Well, sometimes things stuff like this has nothing to do with what is in your pocket, but when you're a person, an individual, contributes so largely to the growth of the society, it beyond on anybody to also actually recognize what you do.
Yes.
So exactly why I said you're such a prominent person. You'll be representing the youth constituency, and you're doing so well. Nice having you on the platform this morning. Yes, like I said earlier, youth empowerment in Ogun State, impact on society, and of course I want to first fire the first, the first shot this morning. Let me go ahead and burn all the cylinders and ask you that as a special advisor to the Ogun State Governor on youth development, a passionate advocate for youth inclusion and empowerment in Ogun State, can you let us know what has been the situation talking about youth empowerment? We all know what it means to empower the youth. They say empower the youth and you build a nation. So how can you tell us what the situation has been in terms of youth development in Ogun State?
Well, thank you very much. I feel so honored to be in your midst this morning, analyzing this very important topic that centers about around my area of focus in government. And as we all know, that youth is very critical to the society, and so they are also critical to the government. And when the government came on board with a mantra, building our future together, you will know that the mantra itself is centered around the youth development, youth empowerment. Because there are youth, I used to tell people that youth covered every sector of the state. So if a government is developing one particular sector, be rest assured that the government is targeting youth development. Let us take, for instance, recently on youth agriculture, the Commissioner for Agriculture was rolling out some of the projects that have been done in this administration, and you realize that the number of people that this thing capture are young people. So that is what this government is all about. Every of their programs are youth focused, and we must appreciate such person who understands that the young people are talented, they are energetic, they are innovative. And for your society to move forward, you have to make sure that you get them involved in everything you do. And that is what the government has actually done. The government of Governor Dapo Abiodun has identified that and has made sure that he created an enabling environment for young people to strive. You know, government cannot do everything, but you must make sure that you create an enabling environment for young people to strive. There is youth in creativity, there is youth in sport, there is youth in agriculture, there is youth in education. And one of the key things that the government is also doing is to honor excellence. You know, whenever they see a young person from this our state doing well in any area of their endeavor, they always ensure that they recognize them. And the reason is not far-fetched. It is tailored towards ensuring that they inspire the upcoming one. And when they see that one young person is honored, is recognized as a result of attaining excellence in his or her endeavor, the upcoming ones will also be inspired to aim higher. So all these things are things that the government has actually set and run in motion in the last 6 years of this administration. And we must also, another critical area that you have to look at is the area of government, because I see that you have to look at the impact of bringing young people, the impact on the society in running government. About 60% of people around the government, around the governor, are young people working with him. And you see that that's why you see he's building a brighter future for Ogun State, ensuring that even in terms of administration, there are a lot of other people that are being mentored by this current administration. So the impact, and that's why you are now seeing that the Ogun State of today is being peaceful. We are witnessing tremendous development. You know, the kind of industrialization, industrial activities coming up in the state. It is also tailored towards youth development, because when this industry comes, old people cannot work with them, except in a very few places. But young, energetic people are the ones that will work there. So, and also at the earlier time of this administration, they have also made an order that gave room for young people from this state to be employed by these industries that are coming. So there are a lot of things that we are doing in the area of youth. And one of the things that's funny about youth development is that it's not a physical project.
It's not something you can see.
Yeah, it centers about social development. So the effect of the government investment on youth development is always reflected in the social activities, social development of our environment.
Okay, thank you so much. Yes, let me comment from here. You've highlighted the fact that youth in governance is a bit higher talking about the engagement of youth in the administration of Prince Dr. Abiodun. You've said 60% of members of the cabinet are actually youth, and this speaks volume of how the government is prioritizing the need for youth development. But let's look at youth empowerment in Ogun State. We're looking at impact. We want to go into talking practical now. Like when you're talking about youth empowerment, you're looking at skill acquisition, how best the empowerment, is creating jobs for youth, youth participation in governance, like you have rightly mentioned. So can you specifically highlight the youth empowerment programs of this administration that you want people to actually know about this morning?
Yeah, thank you very much. One of the key things that we always prioritize is skill acquisition. As a young person, you must make sure that you have a particular skill that you are into. And if you don't have a particular skill, you must make sure that you are also an entrepreneur. And one of the key things that this government has done is to revamp the technical schools. The government has revamped the technical schools to ensure that it bridges the gap within the skill acquisition and support the youth from in ensuring that they acquire the necessary skills. And the government is also making sure that if they acquire skills, they are well trained. And even there is a particular office created within the government circle that centers on youth empowerment. And that's why there is also a youth skills center in Idiaba here, where young people are trained. You understand? These are things that this government has done. And I don't know if you have traveled within all across Ogun State. You will see that most of our technical schools are now rebranded. You see yellow roof everywhere. So that's to tell you that we prioritize skill acquisition. It is in this technical school. Even what the design currently is that you go to this technical school. If you are a plumber, you can be certified. And this is what it is being practiced in developed nations, where they just want your skill. And once you are certified, and these are things that newly upgraded technical school is giving to the young people who are acquiring skills in that place. So they go there, they expose them to skill acquisitions, and also you see that we also have the informal sector. You understand? There is artisans. We are the ones that actually also amplify the activities of artisans in the state. And the last artisans they had last year in Abuja, Ogun State artisans came first in innovation because of what they fabricated and all that. It tells you that it is this government that has given conducive environment to all these innovations to strive.
Okay, now talking about empowering youth, you've mentioned what the government is doing, especially in the area of agriculture. You've mentioned technical schools. Fine. But you know that looking at the population of the youth, that can be enough. We have other schools, secondary schools and institutions where you have youth. But I am bothered about something, and that is talking about, because you mentioned technical school, that wants me to mention this. There are some of these youth that you feel they're in school, but they're still wasting their future. Like you expect them to be in class, but they are not. I want to believe that you have some program in place as you're empowering the youth. You want them to excel in life, but government can do it fast. You, as an estate, the governor, you can do your part. But we still have some parents that maybe they are yet to know that this youth that I'm raising, this child that I'm raising has a future. Do you know why I'm saying this? If you go to town now, there are some schools that you will find our students loitering around, roaming about. These are our youth too. Because when a child is already in a senior school, already he or she has become a youth. So what are you doing about this so that their future will be rest assured? There is a school I know very well. I won't want to mention the name of the school. I as a person would not want my enemy to go there because of the way the students, they roam about, they loiter everywhere. Even if the gate is locked, they still have a way of sneaking out of the school. I want you to maybe say something about this, or you present it before government, so that they will do something about it.
Thank you very much. You see, every one of us has a role to play. What we are doing now is also has to do with public enlightenment that also centers around the orientation of young people. And one of the strategies that this government has actually adopted was to ensure that parents are involved in all these things. Before, when we came on board in 2019, we see a lot of rascalism, thuggery among the secondary school students, and you cannot compare that time to this time now. It got to a point that the parents have to be involved and come and sign for their wards. You understand? So all these things are strategies that we have put in place. The parents are they also need to know that they have the very important roles to play. You understand? Because the government,
I'll tell you this so that you will.
So if you identify some of these strategies, whereas you know in everything that you do, you look at how effective those policies are. So if there are challenges in some places, we can put them on their toes, put the head on the toes. I will just let the commissioner for education that we have in Ogun State today is a disciplinary person. You understand? So it will ensure that he take it up, and that is one out of like 100 that I've had recently. With the strategy that we put in place, normalcy has actually returned to secondary school, and we do ensure that we catch them young. You see, reorientation process is a continuous one, and that's why I'm happy that as a media personality, you are also putting up this kind of program. You understand, to enlighten our youth, young people, that you have to make sure that you focus on your future.
You know why I started from that angle? Because I discovered that some of the youth does not want to learn in a classroom, like the government technical schools that you have mentioned. So we have some of them outside. They don't want to go into agriculture, they don't want to learn in the class, but they still need to learn. So I want to know what the government is doing just to capture those that are outside too in learning skills and empowering them, because this is also important.
That is why the government is not the one that we monitor the upbringing of a child for the parents. The parents must be aware that these things are happening. If you cannot take care of a child, then why are you giving birth to such child? You understand? So all these things are things that we usually, we cannot find it. There's no way you can't find this kind of thing in our environment. But we always make sure the responsibility of government is that provide conducive environment for your young people to strive. All these things are provided, we now embark on enlightenment, awareness, creating awareness that these things are in place. And one of the things they did is that they make this skill acquisition so attractive that they don't even pay. I think they are even given stipends to come and learn. I don't think there's any empowerment that is far more than that. You understand? Come and learn, come and acquire this skill, because the reason is not far-fetched. This is an most industrial state in Nigeria. There will be need for skilled workers. So we must make sure what are the things that we are doing to bridge the gap. How are we putting the interest of Ogun State youth into consideration? So these are the reasons why the government has made sure that they put all these things in place, so that when this industry comes, Ogun State youth will be the beneficiary. And we are talking about the formal sector. We also need to look at the informal sector. I would like to talk about the current housing revolution that the government is doing in Ogun State. If you move around, you see the number of people that are working. These are the ways to also measure how you are empowering young people. How busy are they?
I want to cut you with Comrade Olamide, and exactly where I was going to take you up from. That is, taking you back a bit to skill acquisition programs of government. Like, it is obvious that government engage more youth in governance. Let's say the government of President Abiodun, they have youth, the higher percentage of youth in his cabinet. Then how has the government been able, we are talking about retraining of, skill acquisition for youth. You have mentioned that there are several centers where youth are being trained, especially the technical schools where they are graduating in different fields. The electrical, electronics department. There are times in the past that we have children, youth, undergoing the painting skills, all these things. I want to ask that engaging them is another problem. Yes, you mentioned the housing revolution in Ogun State. I have seen that a higher percentage of workers in those sites are drawn from each local government where the buildings projects are being cited. But how often do you think government, or do you feel this government is engaging as expected? Because you look at this youth, once they are done with this skill acquisition, they find it difficult, finding market for themselves is a bit difficult in the society of today. Like in the past, we used to have a government where they would engage the youth, build them, empower them, then make them the worker for government, like painting of structures, like we used to have, some of them painting the House of Assembly in the past. So how do you think this government is doing in this perspective, in this area, talking about engaging them even when they acquire the skills thereafter?
Well, thank you very much. You have made a very good point. But I would want you to know that the government that is creating an enabling environment is a broad sentence. You understand? And you look at how it has captured many of it. Where if you listen to what I was saying before regarding the industrial revolutions, the pull factor of the industries that we are experiencing in the state, and how we are training these people to bridge the gap. And the policy the government formulated that if a company comes, the certain percent of the Ogun State indigenous, these are things that you expect a government to put in place. Other thing is to make the job attractive to young people. Everyone wants to make money. We have to look at that okay, if I'm doing this job, if I'm doing this job, the end point is that I want to make money. So doing so, you have to make it the job attractive. I cannot just say I acquire skills. And in recent time, you see that even people now enjoy being self-employed. You understand that? Self-employed. It shows the ambitiousness of young people. If you have some people that are not ambitious in there, we keep engaging them, and that's why we have a very smooth relationship with various young youth groups in the state. Attending their events, enlightening them frequently. It must not stop. You need to keep engaging the youth year in, year out, telling them serious opportunities that is available, and for them to make sure that they key into those opportunities. So the government is doing its part. I'm appealing to the parents to also do their part. And I appreciate the fact that the media personalities, the media houses are also doing their own part. So if every one of us keep doing our part, we will see the effect on the society.
Okay.
So regarding this empowerment of the thing,
I was going to say that.
Yeah, regarding this
translates to a society being productive, being more prosperous, being a safer society. When youth are empowered, it is
of course. Even there are some that we've not even said, which is sport. You understand? So if your youth are engaged, it's downsized to crime reduction. You understand? Because the energy that they will use to think of evil, it has already been diverted to a productive engagement. So once that one is established, you have a safer society. And you can see that recently in this the last Unitide that we had, there was no form of any crime reports. You understand? Very, very minimal, insignificant. So it tells you that yes.
I didn't even hear any.
Yeah. So it tells you that yes, the youth of Ogun State are,
they are busy.
They are busy. They are being engaged either through sports. You look at the sports facilities that the governor has provided for us. You understand? Look at our stadium today. The approach field of our stadium, you'll be marveled with it. And that kind of was designed by a young person from Ogun State. You understand? So that tells you that every area of government that is meant to be focused on are being given utmost attention by the government. So my appeal is that people should also make sure that they fulfill their own responsibilities to make sure that having a better society is a collective effort.
Collective effort, yes, you're right. Apart from what the government is doing, I want to ask, are there partnerships or collaborations between the Ogun State government and maybe some NGOs? You have mentioned companies coming here, that means we have investors in the state already and employing youth as well. So now, NGOs partnering with the government, do we have them? Can you just tell us some of the more empowerments that are not government-oriented, that are being in operation by the NGOs?
Well, the NGO, the civil societies, I would also like to use this medium that the government has always been running an open door policy, giving room for them to also partner. And the government cannot do everything. When we see people that come up with ideas, you understand, the government always ensure that it gives them needed partnership, you understand, putting their own equity in it. In as much it has been evaluated and they realize that this project will be for the benefit of the people of Ogun State and it will also enhance the image of the state. We have always been open to partnership. And the NGO, the government cannot do it alone. This public enlightenment, awareness that I'm talking about, the civil society organizations, the other NGOs, they are major factor in achieving this. The government cannot do it alone. They understand what the government is doing, and they also understand the community they are based in. So they understand the two languages. They can actually communicate the government policy to the community they are in their area of operations for them to actually understand what the government is doing and do what is expected of them. So the government is open to partnership. We are open to ideas, generations, and that's the essence why the government has us as its aid. If everybody cannot reach the governor, you can actually reach one or two aides that are overseeing your area of thought.
Okay, thank you so much, Comrade Olamide. At this point, if you're watching this program from anywhere, you also, we're welcoming questions and comments. You can just be part of the conversation. I don't know if my producer will put the full line on. Let us know what area do you think government, private sector and youth themselves to, contribute in order to deepen youth empowerment in Ogun State. It is not the job of the government alone. It is our own responsibility also to contribute our quota and ensure that we have a safer and more productive society. Yes, Comrade Olamide, you said the government of Prince Dakwa Abiodun, from the conversation here, you're actually making it clear that it is a system-driven approach into governance. Like, you don't have to see governor before you can get things done. So I want to ask you, that is why you are here, as well as a mouthpiece of the government and, of course, representing the youth constituency in the administration of Prince Dakwa Abiodun. But the youth empowerment is at the center of the government activities in Ogun State, like you have said. Let us know now, How best do you think, like we were talking about before we went for that break, how best do you think private sector, it is public-private partnership approach to governance that I want to talk about, how best do you think private sector, use themselves, can make more contributions to ensure that we're able to deepen, this empowerment, this societal development and youth development that we are talking about?
Well, thank you very much. You have to, one of the vision of the government of Dr. Abiodun is to create an enabling environment for public-private partnership to strive. They see it as a means to create a brighter future for the state, and that objective has always been the center of focus for these administrations, to make sure that they bring in people, you understand, to work with for the benefit of the people. So if any private individual, private investors, or anyone is ready to partner with the government is, that's the essence why they are there, to make sure that you have idea, you have something that the government can use to benefit its people. And also in the area of empowerment, we did not talk about small and medium enterprise. You understand? The government also did a lot of things through that. There was a particular time that they did OGTV. A lot of young people were given funds, grants to support their businesses. So if you see a lot of things happening, you are seeing a smooth society devoid of crime, devoid of unnecessary tension and all that. You know that government is actually doing a lot of things. That's why I must give kudos to the government, the governor that it doesn't allow any sector to suffer at the detriment of others. It is making sure that every sector is having the needed attention and their ideas are being put into use. So the education, the agriculture, the information and computer technology, everything, even sports, everything that centers around young people, businesses and all that are being given utmost attention.
In every program there are challenges, and challenges to an extent is so inevitable. You can't just say no to having challenges.
In life there are
challenges. And despite all these efforts of government that you have rightly mentioned, empowering youth in different areas, training them, skill acquisition programs and all of that, you've spoken about several lofty ideas of government that can put youth on a better pedestal in terms of development. But there are still some challenges facing the youth, the challenges like access to funding. Is it that they are not aware? Also we can also talk about mentorship gap is there. Who mentors them? Who gives them this appropriate way to handle things in life? And then information dissemination also is also key. Are we passing it according to, is the information reaching out to the expected target, like talking about the youth themselves? Is the information not limited to a circle of people? And let's not take political inclusion because we have them as agents of political matters in the society. But access to funding, mentorship gap, who is doing all this? And these are challenges.
Honestly, among the things that you highlighted, the most catchy one is the mentorship. And it's a challenge in our society. You understand that people who God has blessed in one way or the other, it might not be even by financial, you understand, but by knowledge, by experience that you have gathered. How are you impacting it on the young people, the youth around your area? How accommodative are you? How are you feeling them? How are you sharing some ideas with them? Are you also living a life that is exemplary to these young people? These are challenges that everybody, that's what I said, there are many roles that all of us must play to have a better future. So this mentorship of a thing the access to funds and all that, there are a lot of government agencies that have been created, and there is always there was a time that the government said people should register free CAC, free registration, because if you want to have access to government funds, the government needs to know who wants to have access to it. Have you registered your business? You understand? Do you have address? What are you doing? There are a lot of things, Smidan, Bank of Industries, there are a lot of grants that are going on in those agencies. So, but you must follow through. And the kind of thing that we do is that through the various youth groups, we always ensure that we enlighten them and we bring these ideas to them. Very soon we'll still coming up with a program that we like Innovation Week, Youth Innovation Week. You know, the government is still working on that, where we bring in a lot of entrepreneurs. You understand? And there is also one that they used to do. You know, like I told you, where they had won the Ogun Digital Summit recently, where a lot of young people come together in a digital world to share ideas. You also, when you share ideas, every year in, year out, they come, we create enabling environment for them to achieve all those things. There is also Ogun Entrepreneurial Summit they've been doing, so that the government as a whole will give them venue, we give them all the necessary support to let that be achieved. These are things that we do to open the eyes of young people that government cannot provide all the jobs, can only provide few. But you yourself, what can you do with what God has given you as talent, as skills, as energy to better the society? I want us to really emphasize on that mentorship. People need to know that you don't need to be in government to be a mentor. Our leaders, our fathers, our mothers must live exemplary lives in their community, and they must also embrace young people. They must be accommodative. You understand? For young people to go, you know, when we are coming up, when some things are not clear to us, we usually go to the elders. Such is not happening again, and that's why you are seeing high rate of depression here and there. A young person does not have confidence in the people he sees around to share his problem with. You understand? And get
there's a lot of mentorship gap, really.
Mentorship gap, that's it.
And don't you feel that these gaps are there because this generation feels it knows everything? They see the elderly ones as the old ones. What do they know?
So they think they are the Gen Z.
This is Z generation, and if I talk to daddy now, daddy will not understand. If I go to grandpa, he will not understand. Don't you think that is the problem here? So well, let's leave mentorship for now, because you've been talking about a lot of programs, and you will see that I don't give Morenikeji that time to flow. You know why? Because I have this kind of feelings, because I want to believe that these programs are existing, fine, but they're not really accessible to some youth. So I want to know that these programs now, how do you make sure that it reaches all the youth, regardless of their backgrounds or socio-economic status? Because yes, government is doing its part, but I'm so sure that if you go deeply, you will still find some youth that will tell you, oh gee, yes, I don't know anything about it. How will I even get there? How would I collect the form? No, if we talk about those programs, it is for those that are into politics, the youth that are participating in politics, or youth that have connections and the rest. Those are the things you will hear them say. So that's why I decided to just keep quiet a bit, because I know that you will say it's not true, but let me hear it from you. No, because I know that at this program,
the youth are they well informed about of all these programs?
I think they are aware. Because when you go on the internet, you see a lot of initiatives about the government, OG yes, OG cares, OG this, OG that. So are they really aware?
Well, thank you very much. Well, I will say that it's part of the challenges that we are facing, and that is why. But the government already have machineries in place. You know, there is National Orientation Agency, there is broadcast houses like this. There is Ministry of Information, you know, and I want to appeal to no. You see, we are in a modern age. Except you don't want to be informed. All these things are out there. But sometimes, you know, these youth, it is of no interest to them sometimes. That's a challenge. But saying that when you want to launch something, you even announce it, you invite them. Sometimes they are nonchalant about it and all that. But that is why we do, whenever we have opportunity, we do have frequent engagement with youth, but even youth in community. You know, we have over 10,000 community CDAs in Ogun State, and each CDA has a youth rep. We've always interfaced with most of them. You know,
I was going to ask.
There is nothing that we do as a project in our own office than to talk to young people, to talk to them in the area of mentorship, in the area of available opportunities, and if there are challenges that they are facing, you understand, we are the ones to make sure that we mitigate any challenges within our
those are the ones you know now. Those are the ones you know.
That's why it's not about the people you know.
So I'm not talking about people. Those are you know about their challenges.
Yes.
That's why you can ameliorate their suffering.
The government, there are series of arms of government.
Are there youth and government organizations
and youth representatives are in every arm of government. You understand?
No.
So even at the local level, you understand. If you don't come out with with the challenges that you have, we are not witchcraft.
Of course.
You cannot even know.
Yeah.
So except you come out, you don't need to know me to approach me. You understand? You don't need to know me. There are youth reps in your community. Each community, each CEA has a youth representative. If as a young person you have a challenge, you can approach your youth rep. It is the responsibility of your youth rep to escalate those challenges to appropriate quarters. If he doesn't know it, then he doesn't know his job. So that's how the whole communication is being done. And if it gets to us, we always make sure that, in this local government, let me call this so person. Oh, how are you? This and that. There are these challenges. So, and that has even helped us in addressing some security challenges that we've been facing before.
In your own assessment, considering the state of things in the state now, looking at the youth development, you want to analyze or assess it yourself. Do you think government and youth organization collaboration has been so effective? Because you are talking about you having, in the center of mediation between youth in the society, the groups, and government. Do you think we are having it so effective, talking about how it translates to, the productive, that we should be looking at?
Yeah, to a certain extent it has been so productive, and it will be even more productive by the time that the government eventually, put in place the Ministry of Youth Development. The government has actually created the ministry, and we are awaiting the full-fledged operation of it. The whole thing will be, more effective by the time we have different I don't know. I said not about youth organizations. The different sections to approach, and that there is a full ministry to cater for any challenges surrounding the youth development and all that.
Because of time, I just want you to advise the youth out there, because some youths are just like a bicycle about things, about life. They still feel I'm young, let me enjoy myself. So they are not serious now until when they now get to that future that we're talking about. So I wanted to speak to them, those that feel it's not necessary, or they feel I need to have connection before I could get these things, or I need to know the youth coordinator or any politician before I could get access to all these programs that we've been talking about. Speak to them now, just in 1 minute.
Well, thank you very much, my fellow youth of Ogun State. I am using this medium to appeal to you to be ambitious, to be great in life. And I also want to appeal to you to make sure that you get involved in everything that is happening in your environment. And also, live an exemplary life. Ensure that you live a life that will be emulated by people coming behind you.
And you're a good ambassador.
Yeah, be a good ambassador of your community. And be rest assured that the government is here to give you the necessary support. The government of Abiodun in the last 6 years has shown capacity to appreciate excellence in young people, and will continue to do it. Anywhere we see young people, be it area of education, be it area of sport, be it area of creativity, we've been supporting every young person that come out successfully, and as a means to inspire the fellow young people of Ogun State to also aim for greater things. If you are higher, if you are great,
thank you, Comrade Ola.
Thank you so much.
1 minute. Your 1 minute. Yes, thank you so much for being part of the show today, Comrade Olamide. And I want to also appreciate our viewers for making it a date with us on the show today. Yes, the key takeaways of the program today is simple. Youth empowerment is central in Ogun State government. And of course, government and youth collaboration, youth organization must collaborate for a better development. So when you empower the youth, you're going to have economic growth. These are the key takeaways from the conversations today. And today promises, we promised when we started that it's going to be a beautiful conversation, and I know we have picked one or two things from all that we have discussed here today. Let's make it a day again next week to join us on Roundtable. Until then, my name again is Moreni Keji Shobaloju, signing off with my co-presenter, Doyin Sola Ogunbadewa.